Yeah, the question is,
Yeah, but my strength's at 30 now.
for how long you'll be trying to... Because think at this baseline of rolls, you probably would realize that maybe force matching might not be that good of an idea. Because while the damage is not too bad, because it's like 1d6 points of non-lethal damage per failed check, but then when you have that damage, you become fatigued.
Yeah, it's kind of fatigue that starts to fuck things
To
up.
me, it sounds like we should go wherever we're going and then stab ourselves real quick.
No, no, don't. That's a bad
As
idea.
in, I'm implying there's a possibility that, when you force marching, you become fatigued, and before you end up at your destination, you have an encounter where being fatigued might fuck you over.
Mhm.
Let's just proceed at the normal rate. It might just be an idea to do that.
Mhm. Yeah, we
Alright.
tried, we failed. Let's march. Mm.
We tried, we failed, we tried again, and we got worse.
I mean,
Mhm.
sadly, the rolls were. I mean, force march, the way it's like. If this was like 42 check, then it was like implied that it is possible to do often. But this is like pure constitution check, then I imagine the intent was that this rule, if used, you are not expected to not get tired doing that.
Mhm.
Alright.
Yep.
So, during rough calculations, I'm gonna be nice and say that you get an extra mile because of everything. So, if we're gonna go with like base calculations, then that's 260 by 25. Okay, so like more or less we are looking at 10 days of journey.
Mhm. Mhm.
Alright. Okay, so at the dawn of light in the morning during day 12 after the crash landing and arrival at this new untamed land, your group is venturing forth towards like the longest trek they have undertaken since arriving here. That
I mean, that's why I might as well just grab boots of string and striding.
I mean, yeah, that's probably a better idea. Or just a horse.
A horse, a horse.
My kingdom for a horse. Mm.
as I said, currently no mounts survived. No
Yep,
mounts
yep.
are viable. Okay, so let me shift, because I imagine Cherry could be leading the survival efforts.
Sure.
As in carving the path with his machete, and
Yeah.
eventually you guys, essentially, and if needed, you guys assisting with potentially avoiding dangers, because there's a possibility we'll be having random encounters. So let's see, his survival is this, and I hope he already included all the bonuses needed.
I think so. I think we've been level 4 full.
Fucking hell.
What the hell? Hmm. Right.
Okay, random encounters. So right now the first one is around the forest jungles, further away from the base, but with 19. Or maybe he's not included that, so that's maybe 20 even, or 21. Actually... Okay, anyone wants to roll D100?
Sure, let me roll it. 1d100.
I have a feeling that if I want to get a cool
80.
magical, I'm going to have to look at magical shields.
Alright. Okay, it occurs, let's say, at second day of the travel. Shortly after the night has passed and you have made camp, and then you're like moving forwards once again. And so far, the journey itself has been relatively safe. It's not like there are no dangers around in the forest or any animals or creatures that could prey on you at all, but between your martial prowess and the Cheruk's ability to lead you through the untamed land, you are pretty much able to have as calm travel as possible in these circumstances. And even if there's like a fight, the fight itself like doesn't make sense to like run normally because the CR of the creatures would be like low, or you'd have like too many advantages to. Essentially, we don't have to like waste time playing out the combat because you can like ambush creature, avoid them, like any wild animals living in there. However, it is like at the second day, and I need to fucking keep track of the days. So like day 14, so exactly 2 full weeks. And I find. So I have that. So as you begin to travel again, and you are still moving up the river, something else catches your attention, and you don't need to make rolls for that. Is that relatively close by, so that you can spot it, you find a passageway leading underground. And compared to the others, I don't have an exact idea, but something about that entrance, this cave leading downwards, indicates that it's not hostile, rather that there are no signs of any tribes living there. You also do not spot or hear or notice any signs pointing that this might be a like a lair for some sort of like deadly animal. And actually, I mean, before I say any more, would you have decided to investigate it? It's not like a detour, essentially. This passage, this entrance is like pretty much along the way.
I mean, I think we're pretty bored by now. Let's just check it out.
Sure.
I shall take point as I walk in with my demon claws.
I will follow. As Corin sort of steps behind Azrak.
Yeah, and I take up the rear because, smart people let the pawns go ahead of them.
Yes.
Damn.
Prepare to get one-shotted by a sight.
You still bring it up, and I still have no guilt.
And yes, I did remember that correctly. That shadow tower, not that clock tower thing.
Yep.
During the Rise of the Rulers.
Sneak attack crit.
Yep. Delete.
Yeah, that was fucking nasty.
Oh, what's this pile of trash over here? Oh, it's just a pile of trash. It's not important.
Yeah, I think we failed our perception checks there, or rather, didn't detect that enemy. Anyways, okay, 2 things. One question: does any one of you in this party speaks Dwarvish or understands written Dwarvish or Dwarven, however you like?
It's like that. It's one of the languages I did not take.
No.
No.
I'm
No, I got
looking
common,
at
undercommon.
Cheruk also doesn't have it. I'm double checking.
I know. I have common, orc, Australian, Infernal, Abyssal, and Draconic.
Wait, what?
Sorry, what?
I said common, orc, undercommon, Infernal, Abyssal, and Draconic.
That's not what we heard.
I don't know what you're talking about.
It's on a tape. The numbers, Mason. What do they mean? Anyways, okay, that's one thing. The other, you can make me perception checks.
Lovely.
Just give me a second, cause you know, my sheet will eventually switch. There we go. Come on, scroll down.
Can't you use linguistics to try and determine the nature of a message or writing? Try and decipher what's.
I believe that you actually can, yes.
I will have to
It's
like,
hard, but
I mean, you will definitely be able to check it, try, but I'm gonna have to like look at the skill to figure out what the DC would be, because I imagine the DC for a language that you do not know, probably even discerning the basic stuff will be relatively hard.
I think you might be right. It's,
Oh my
it's
God.
yeah, it's a base DC of 20, depending on the complexity of the message. Messages. I mean, I'll roll it anyway, because why not?
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't
Aw.
matter. Eh.
Success bullshit. Go.
so close.
Success is helping.
Class is untrained.
I will assist Corin.
Aha!
So we can at least get a gist of what it's saying. 'Cause, I mean,
Speak friend and enter.
yeah. Melon.
We're not near a lake, are we?
You see something shiver in the lake.
Well, as long as Zixus doesn't start throwing rocks into the lake, we'll be fine.
Success looks up from having tossed the lock. What did you say?
I just saw your belt. But the question is, as you're driving it, are you quoting Shakespeare?
Of course.
I know, it sounds like Zixus is going to be the one mounted if that's the case.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, with the rolls that you have, so I can explain what is going on. Essentially, as you are like going downwards, the trip itself to the underground, actually, it's not that too long, but it takes more than a few minutes. I would say like around an hour. On one hand, good news is that you do not stumble upon any enemies, or rather no creature that dares to attack you or makes any trouble for you. And at first, what do you find is an underground river, because you pretty soon hear the sound of running water, and you are able to find like a underground cave-like clearing, in which like this underground river is flowing. There are tunnels covered in complete dark. There's like no signs of light or life in many of these corridors reaching forward. And the knowledge that you have so far doesn't give you any insight into like where these paths would lead. So there's a possibility if you decide to like go into them, you might be actually wasting a lot of time looking for like way out, because who knows, it might be connecting to other like underground portions on the island, or maybe like if there's like an underdark existing in this new world. So this, I'm saying straight up, this is like a risk of like wasting a lot of time. However, other thing that exists much closely, and it is something that you can investigate without wasting too much time, is that as we're like looking around at the nature carved surroundings, because at first nothing around here indicates that it was man-made. It's like completely natural. However, Coron, with the highest perception, leading like his piercing gaze, manages to find badly not covered, but essentially what you find are like signs, very simple runes of dwarvish make. Not maybe like runes, but symbols, because they do not glow with power. They're like just very simple symbols inscribed or engraved into cave walls, into rocks, leading towards one of the like smaller corridors. And while you do not, because you do not speak the language, you do not know exactly what the word means, unless I'm mistaken how the linguistics checks, the feeling that you get, well, because it doesn't glow, it's not a rune, so it's apparently nothing that has magical power, nothing that can endanger you. But the feeling that you get is that the symbols, they are not the same. So on one hand we have like very basic symbol that might indicate like a welcome. Maybe if there are like other travelers going through the undergrounds, maybe other dwarves, they would spot that. And then as like beginning to see that these symbols, they form a trail, a bread of crumbs, if you will, how to say it, that follows deeper in. And one of the one of the symbols that's like very soon you will be able to find, like right after like welcome, is like a symbol of anvil and hammer, which perhaps indicates a forge.
Oh, which what did you say?
However, for now you do not hear nor see any sign of life. Are you interested in investigating further? Because as I mentioned, you do have trail leading in a specific direction.
Let's keep investigating. Sure.
Nothing bad will happen.
Everything will go fine.
Alright. Just give me a moment. Okay. The next portion of the journey takes just a few minutes actually. And as you're like going through not corridor, but first what something is like you know, just natural made tunnel starts turning into a corridor. At some point you're beginning to notice that the walls have been chiseled, and they obviously they were worked on by some kind of civilization, some sort of like pink word on them. And but there are like no signs of life. Like as you're like going, you're leaving trail in like dust. Like clearly this place hasn't seen much use and wasn't even visited for a long time. Or maybe no, now that I think about it, generally the feeling that you get that this place hasn't been used not in like ages or centuries, but more like maybe years, but between months, like many months, or maybe a couple of years, maybe a year or two.
Okay.
So instead of like seeing coming up to a giant city, the corridor ends with a very ornate, very well made, heavy stone door. That seems to be
Okay.
closed. And if you want to inspect it more closely, you may make perception checks and arcana checks.
Sure.
really
Success
Okay.
walks up to it and pokes the door as he tries to figure out what it is. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Gonna make a perception check. I'll try both, because why not?
That one.
Okay, well, I'm fucked in this situation.
Okay, success. You wanted to poke the door, however, as you like look what sort of, as you like peek closer and you like, even though you do not have detect magic, your trained gaze like squints, and you can swear you can almost feel and see like very, 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 very faint, like a glow
Rose?
of power in some of the cracks. You can see like faint glow of power, like some ready spell,
Mm-hmm.
perhaps. Okay, and okay, I'm gonna say. Honestly, in this like slow motion moment, you can also make me a spellcraft check to see if we have like any idea whatsoever what this might be.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Spellcraft. 26.
Okay. Long story short, there is still some sort of protection active on the door, and just trying to force your way through would activate a spell called Flesh to Stone.
Sixes looks at his hand, like shakes it and puts it behind his back. Mm-hmm. Alright. Has anyone seen yeah, squirrel? Fuck the squirrel. Has anyone seen a squirrel? Sixes goes to find a squirrel. He has to toss at the door.
It's like, poor squirrel.
Mm-hmm.
So like take time to go outside, try to hunt down an animal like a squirrel.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Out of curiosity, what would be your end goal?
To toss the squirrel at
What
the
you
door.
would believe it would achieve?
Well, dispel the spell.
to activate the trap and continue on our way.
Mm-hmm.
Pretty much.
If there's a forge here, it might make our crafter's job a little bit easier if we pack up and mobilize to this.
Mm-hmm. Or joink whatever's here and get it to him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and we can get discounts.
Mm.
Yeah, either or.
Okay, let's try to see and how much time you will waste trying to hunt a squirrel.
Sure. What do you want? Survival, perception.
I think for hunting, this will be survival.
Sure. Let's see if successes 3 in survival can get anything done, or if someone's gonna have to rescue him.
I guess I'll have to get involved.
Leave it to the professional. Success and Sherry could probably.
See,
Throw in.
you said
Oh
survival.
my god.
Since you guys did such a horrible job, I'll add my whole +3.
Here comes the 23, I believe. Oh.
Let's just see real quick.
We're all going down this rabbit hole at this point.
Yes, it's became a fucking challenge.
There you go. At least it's a positive number.
Yes, true.
We're all committed to this.
Mm-hmm. We're getting that fucking squirrel.
Alright. Okay, so I'm gonna say it will be around. Yeah, it takes a little while. However, we are able to find a squirrel, toss it at the door. Normally in their prime condition, maximum effectiveness, they would probably thought about it and basically implanted contingencies that only like not mindless creatures or animals would like trigger the trap. However, they were pretty rushed in their actions, which means, and then the random encounter thing was kinda also good, so to give you that. Yeah, the squirrel bounces off the door, and before he can even squeak, make another movement, you see that it's like beginning to petrify as it's turned to stone. The very, very faint glow that Zixos saw disappears completely.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, if not for the squirrel, one of us probably would have taken its place. Right, Zixus?
Wait,
Exactly.
Wait, what? No, obviously not. We would never have sacrificed one of our members.
Never, of course not.
Of course not.
As, my,
It wouldn't be a
as,
sacrifice, because they'd be coming back pretty quickly.
as you know, as my character just puts his hand on top of you.
I'm sure whoever would have been sacrificed would, yes, come back quickly and infinitely more pissed.
Six is like, yes, I'm glad you're all on my side. Now let's open this door.
Go ahead, get open the door, Zixus.
You first.
Sixers, you guys are just Sixers walks up proudly with the support of his teammates in the back and just pushes open the door. Does he sense anything on the way, or does it just go all south?
I mean, it doesn't look like it's trapped again, but
Mhm.
perhaps also something malfunctioned, and I'm gonna say, like, what's your push capacity, Zixus? I mean, whatever it is, I'm pretty sure if somebody has to like help you.
I will go help once he's not turned into stone.
Yeah,
Just like put both of his hand on it, like push, go further down, like go red in his green face, like I'm going to get this thing up.
Yeah, Corin will also help when he's convinced that nobody is going to get turned to stone or otherwise blasted
Wow.
with magic.
So apparently my push is 3,500.
Mine is 225.
And that's with
Sorry.
and that's without my buffs.
Oh,
Mhm.
Jesus. My push is 2,000.
That's 10 times 6.
Nice.
So yes, 6 is this. I was like, yes, I'm finally pushing this door open. As you guys like put one hand on the door and push it open together.
We're just
I
there to
mean-
make him feel good.
I once I have a feeling that Zil needs only to like put 2 of his fingers and then just.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, as the door finally opens, the dust slowly shaking off from its old stony walls, what you enter is not a city, not even a village. Probably the closest analogy would be akin to a hamlet in terms of size, but it also doesn't look like a normal place for living. Sure, there are some built-in houses in the cavern walls, that's the idea, but due to the actually there's no heat, there's like pure dark in here. There are no light sources, however that should not be problematic to you. You notice 2 most important things. One, this is the forge, the dwarven forge. You see plenty of, basically one big workplace with anvils, hammers, various tools that are still left, the dust slowly covering them up. The second thing that confirms to you that this indeed is a dwarven forge is that inside you find multiple stone statues of dwarves. As you looked upon them closer, you do not find them in panic. They are not in the streets, frozen in mid-fight, mid-swing or something. Majority of them you find them in their homes, as they're like kneeling or standing proudly with one hand above their heart in like a salute, with their eyes closed. Pretty much all of them are. They do not look distressed. They look calm, at peace, almost serene-like. A couple of them are stony statues at the forge, nearby their, probably you guess, workstations. And apart from that,
Can you go grab food, be right back?
you do not find much else.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see. Okay. All in all, I'm gonna just round it, make a round number. All in all, as you like inspect the area, you do find 20 statues of old dwarves.
Mm-hmm. So, make a perception check, and does he see anything that's turned them all to stone, or any like, what's it called again? Any footprints in the dust? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm back.
Alright, I'll come back. Okay, I have an idea, I just need to like think for a second how would that look.
50,000 people used to live here. Now it's a ghost town.
Only 20, but I understood that reference. Okay. So I think, and actually I need to, should have done that. Yeah, so to have like, as you're like, we're moving underground, not too deep underground, but still. So have like piece of the underground. Okay, so as Zixos begins to walk around, curious to see if he can find a source of this weird anomaly,
Mm-hmm.
for a lack of better word. In let's say it takes a little bit of time because normally the dwarves don't really like go for like riches, even if there's like an elder. So you have to like look more closely for any signs pinpointing to like an elder's house, so like the most important person in this small community, for a lack of better word. However, you are able finally to locate it, and inside, apart from typical living furnishings, fabrishment, what the fucking word I'm looking for, furniture, you do find one thing that's well, you guess it's weird that it was slightly in the open, on like a small, not altar, but like a pedestal slash cabinet. There is a Fuck, what would be better? Yeah, there's like imagine like hourglass, you know, with the sand. However, it doesn't look like a typical hourglass. It's like in a perfect shape of a perfect round stone. Or rather, this is like a stone object in like a perfectly round shape.
I'm just gonna kind of walk up to Zixus and be like, you should touch that.
However, it is not. You see that there's something inside, because it's like kinda. You can see what's inside, and essentially, what do you see is that instead of a sand, this is clearly like some sort of like magical object. You see that it has the top is almost full, and what you see on top is that not sand, but like a very, 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 very minuscule portions of like rock, dust, quartz, like various earth elements, but very minuscule, so that then they can make a impression of like a sand. However, as they're like pouring slowly downwards, you know, probably counting down time, because this is still like an idea of our hourglass, as they like go through and land on the lower part half portion, you see that all of these elements they are turning to blood. Driplets of blood. Not driplets, but like
Droplet.
yeah, if you want to make more sense of it, like what perhaps this does, then Arcana checks are the way to go. And I need to, just a second, I need to turn the lights on.
Hmm?
Anyone else willing to try?
Yeah, why not? I'll try and assist.
I apparently know how my rolls are gonna go this session.
I assist at least.
Well, let's see. I don't think it's gonna do good, but hey, can't hurt, right?
Yeah. We're all trained in it at least, so it's always worth attempting.
Haha!
Oh.
Alright, so if assisting, that bumps 6 or 25.
Well, yeah, yes. Mm-hmm.
Okay, so basically, I'm gonna deliver the knowledge to player, and you can like imagine how Sixus would figure it out in character. I'm leaving the translation to in character knowledge to you, because that's the way I am lazy.
Yeah.
Okay, the general idea is that this item, and combining that with how the statues were back there, implies that this is some sort of contingency method. Essentially, they use this device to send a petrification wave to essentially put the entire Forge Hamlet into stasis. And the process you are seeing, these earthly elements turning into blood, that's a timer depicting how soon they will return. Because when the blood portion is filled, all the earthly elements are turned into blood, then the second wave is sent, which is essentially turn stone to flesh. And I mean, with the intelligence that you have, the skills that you have, you are able to figure. Or rather, this is a main theory that you have. You probably think about that. That you imagine the reason that they have done this, perhaps, yeah, there was some sort of danger, and they did that to basically hide themselves and wait out the danger.
Well, we have a bunch of lazy dwarfs who are not doing their job. What do we do with them?
Kill
What do
them
we
and
do?
take their stuff.
It might be prudent to free them if they're natives of this place.
Indeed, they may have useful information.
Indeed.
Well then, let's do the good thing and free them. I think I know how to do this. Success walking up to the thing. So yeah, can I free them? Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Before the dwarves are fucking axe crazy.
Yeah.
So one thing, essentially, they were not that deep underground. It didn't take that long. However, this type of dwarves are deep delvers. So like naturally born miners, as in they have like a mine site and whatnot. Okay, as we're like beginning to fiddle with that.
Hell, fiddle with all the things.
So okay, so
yeah.
you're saying is
Unless they're
these aren't
miners.
the
I don't
cannibal
fiddle with miners.
dwarves.
The what now?
So these aren't the cannibal dwarves.
No, this is like the deep delver type. Which,
I've been playing Rimworld where my characters, my religion was we were dwarf cannibal miners.
alright.
Hey, cannibalism in RimWorld is just normal. It doesn't have to be part of your religion. You just get impressive benefits if it is.
So like the opposite of real life then. Truly is
Yeah.
a video game.
I mean, like morale-wise. You do get a very much higher chance of food poisoning and you start going insane.
Mm-hmm.
Mind you, if you were already worshipping cannibalism, you probably are insane.
Hey, at least it's not as bad as some of the ones I've seen where I forget. Were you the one that had the religion where you purposely blinded your characters?
Yes. Yes, that was me. They got insane bonuses to hit in melee, though.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, go ahead.
so he pretty much made what the hills have eyes people or something.
Yes, basically. I was tunnelers, cannibals, and blind. And tribal, at that.
Alright. So, with that roll, Zixos is able to figure out that there are thankfully emergency contingencies, and even they have assumed that perhaps there will be a moment situation where they will have to speed up the process and whatnot, and essentially Zixos is able to find out a method to increase, instead of like destroying this thing completely, he fiddles with it and is able to cause that the almost like dumping the entire upper portion downwards so that almost the entire earthly elements are turned into blood at once, and then there's this like moment, and then a wave of magic spreads through the entire forgery. And after a few moments, at your back, deeper in like the houses and whatnot, you begin to hear voices. However, they for now speak in Dwarvish, so you do not know what they are saying.
Absolutely scam.
Absolutely scammed.
Yeah. So what do you do immediately? Because as the voices are talking, they're like beginning to leave their houses, and obviously sooner or later they're gonna notice new visitors.
Success wave to them. Hello, hello, we helped you. Mm.
At which point they're seeing that there are new people there. There's the voices still in Dwarvish. They become more agitated, like surprised and kind of like you would sound where you find unwanted person in your house.
An unwanted person who's your racial enemy at that.
Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. There's a full orc and a half orc. Oh no.
Things are gonna. This should be interesting.
So it's like a boar, a full orc, a half orc, and a goblin, like being like, "Hello."
Oh fuck yeah.
Sharing in the background, acting like a bird.
Oh god.
Yeah. Some of them they are keeping their distance and they are beginning to shout something at you in Dwarvish.
I'll shout at them in Orcish.
Oh, shout at them
And
in
other
common.
them, they're like beginning to grab their pickaxes,
No,
like heavy
I will
picks.
actually try to say something in Undercommon to see if they understand that.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, as you speak Undercommon, they look really tense, and now they're like most of them they have like a weapon in hand, but they are keeping their distance. They are still very much unsure what the hell is going on. And yeah, seeing that there are deep delvers, one of them there's like a moment of consternation, and he will. One of the dwarves will respond in Undercommon.
Oh cool. I think Corin also speaks Undercommon. Thank God for that.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. So does my character speak Undercommon?
I don't think Success does though. Poor guy. Mm-hmm.
Undercommon is always useful because it's the common for other people.
Yes, it's the
For Australians.
Undercommon. Yeah, Australians. Australianism. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So Corin is just gonna say, we're look, not that. We are not your enemy.
I am Azrak of the Eternal Wanderers.
Will determine that, and I'm still forgetting how dwarves would call orcs. I'm still forgetting that from Warhammer, because goblins are Gabi, orcs are
Greenskins.
just greenskins. I thought they had like their own specific name.
There is. I forget what it is, but there is.
Yeah,
Yeah,
same. I'm forgetting. Anyways, will determine that if you are enemies or not, lad. Or greenskin. Who are you? Why are you in our home? What have you done to seize our sizes?
Texas?
I am Azrak of the Eternal Wanderers. We found this abandoned, petrified hold and performed the failsafe that you seem to have had to unpetrify everyone. And who?
Well, as you have seen, Greenskin, this cult was not abandoned. That was a protection measure. Now that you have dispelled it, what right do you have for intruding into our home and fiddling with our machines? We do not know the guilt you speak of.
It just like grabs the side of Astrak's like coat or whatever. It's like, ask them what year it is.
It's they probably use a different calendar than us, but I'll try do you know what year it is?
They gave off number, not really irritated you're still asking them questions, but with some calculations, combining that with your knowledge. Other the answer in a way that it basically means that they have went into stasis about a year before the expedition arrived here.
Oh. So, you all have been petrified for about a year now.
And you would have been for a few more, and everything on the ground would have blown over by then, and you would have been safe.
Well, if you wish to re-petrify yourself, I guess we can reverse the machine and leave.
If I may ask why you decided to petrify yourselves, Izzy. If I may, let me try that again. If I may ask, why did you decide to petrify yourselves?
You have come from top, from the land, yeah?
Orin nods, as I suppose I assume that's the correct answer. We're not from this place.
We came from a land down under.
Well, then you have fucking seen what's going on. Madness, death, and misery, and weird magics.
Exaggerations aside, we have currently only been under attack primarily by creatures from the deep. There is very little that we have encountered that has given us any reasoning to this area.
To clarify, deep underwater, not deep underground.
Yeah, even years ago, we could have even traded with even kobolds or lizard folk, even if we didn't like them very much, but then they all went crazy and weird. There is powerful deep magic working on here, and we want none of that. So we wanted to wait it off.
Remind me, when we encountered some of these quote-unquote practitioners, it was a crystalline substance that they had in them. Was that right?
What are you referencing?
Specifically, when we fought I'm going to go back and use the goblins as an example that we fought. It was either that or the kobolds. One of the two. They had something in them.
I mean, the goblins you fought, some of them were mutated, yes.
Yeah.
And Gogrok specifically was mentioning someone named Wishmaster, and he seemed to have powers unnatural for a goblin.
Yeah, and what form did those mutations take again?
I mean, those beings, they had
But there's some that were spitting up shit.
yeah, mechanically they had acid, speed, breath weapon, and they had this mutated bulbinous sacks of acid in their throats, so they had more swollen necks.
Okay. Okay, in which case Corin is going to bring up that when you say that people went mad, did they mutate in some strange way?
We recall that some of them were changing outwardly, but it was more of an illness of the mind. Sure, these creatures are not the most friendly on the best of times, but even then you had a chance to find some common ground to trade and whatnot. But something dark and heavy sets upon these lands. And we didn't, and we wanted to avoid that. We didn't want to get weird ourselves. So we closed ourselves off.
Presuming that someone is translating for poor success would ask like, well, maybe you can join us. We're the Eternal Wanderers after all, and we do a good job most of the time.
Yeah, you're asking a full lot of questions for intruders in our home. What, you're saying Eternal Wanderers, but who are you? What does that mean?
Well, we're a society of immortals, and my master trusted them, so we generally try to help people. I think.
We are explorers as well. We came here to chart these lands. Believe me, if we had any ill intent, we would not be talking. I'm sure even you can see that.
Perhaps, lad, perhaps. But even then, there are like sick predators that like to play with their prey before devouring them.
But
In the meantime, as the leader is like doing this talk with you and accompanied by some of the like sturdy looting bodyguards, the others are like looking over their hamlet, double checking if you have stolen anything or if there's something amiss, and they will like notice the entrance has been like, I mean, open, but also the fact that it's not powered. So they will be coming. And sorry, I cut off someone, but before they return, so we can like continue the discussion.
Just what was? But like, yes, sorry, but well, the door wasn't doing a very good job of keeping anyone out. Wasn't it a bit risky to turn yourself to stone? Like, what if somebody had come in here and not turned you back and just broken the thing?
Wait. The lad is saying that the door stopped working? Huh. Yeah, the other ones will come up and they'll like whisper between one another. Perhaps it's something about the land that made it less perfect than it should have been. I will not dispute your claims of immortality, probably unless we'll see it. We probably not believe that anyone broke the secrets of that. But you're saying we are helpers, but how did you find yourself in here first? If you were living around these lands, you would have heard about you. But this is the first time we are hearing about the Wanderers.
We have arrived since you petrified yourselves.
Indeed.
On an
A
expedition.
year after.
Our expedition is a most recent one.
So you hail from some other lands, you say?
That is correct.
As I'm trying to go for an accent, I am sorry, Donut, if I'm like butchering the.
And I apologise to me. I'm not Scottish, so.
God.
Damn. Scotland forever.
I don't know. It's just like in my head. I'm imagining that words would sound quite often like that. I won't be this like too much Warhammer influence.
The key is to sound slightly drunk with a lot of aggression.
I don't know, he's after me Lucky Charms.
That's Irish there.
Oh no.
It was deliberate with that one.
I need to grab a drink. Call you right back.
Alright,
So
sorry
you
for
claim-
sorry for a tangent. Yeah, so he said, and I probably should give him a fucking name by now.
Mm-hmm. Well, he probably introduces himself now that we're not completely
no.
suspicious.
Yeah, and he says, well, seeing that you have given us little bit of information about yourselves, I might as well introduce myself. They call me Torik. I'm, I guess, the... Usually our kind would call me Elder, but I'm not that old myself. A little bit over 100 years, but that's nothing.
Mm-hmm. But yeah.
So, did you had any specific goal, lads, in coming in here, or was that mere curiosity leading you here?
We've been looking for allies and other people to help us since, as you said, it's a big clusterfuck around here. And well, we thought you guys were in trouble considering the Stony problem. Mm.
And to be honest, we are also looking for supplies and items that can assist us. And if you were truly abandoned, then I will admit we would have made sure to make use of your supplies that you have here.
Yeah, he like grimaces in like his brows for a little like anger, but you get